I'm Randy Siebold, Chancellor of Weimar College, and here with David DeRose. David, welcome.
Good to be here with you, Randy.
Well, we're going to spend a little bit of time getting to know you. People who are interested in Weimar College might like to know who the faculty are, and so that's what we have here.
Great.
Tell us, you've been teaching over the past few years here now and teaching nutrition. What are some of the other classes?
Pathology, especially for our massage therapy students.
Mm-hmm.
I've taught a class called Health Evangelism, and then also Principles of Health.
Okay, good. And now you've had quite a bit of experience in actually health evangelism as a pastor. Actually, you spent some time in Maine doing that before you came out
No,
here?
you're exactly right. Actually, a lot of my work as a physician, I've been a physician for over 25 years, has been under that umbrella of health evangelism. I've worked in a number of Adventist, for lack of a better term, lifestyle centers or sanitariums, kind of that old model. I've also worked in some of our largest Adventist health institutions, so kind of that whole gamut. But my focus has always been preventive medicine, community outreach, especially the evangelism angle. I did that actually in a pastoral call in Maine for several years prior to coming here to Weimar.
So this is something that's pretty close to your heart.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, this is something you just can't get away from.
No, you're right. The Lord puts a burden on you to do something, and you move in that direction, and you see Him open doors. And He opened doors to come here to Weimar and share that vision with the college students at Weimar.
So when you get into a class, you're teaching a pathology class, nutrition class, how is that different from a class that you might teach? Now, you've taught before in the public sector.
You're right. I taught in the community college system in Maine.
Okay. And so how is a class that you teach there different from what you would teach to students at Weimar College? How is that different?
Everyone knows that we're coming from a Bible and inspiration-based perspective. So I couldn't open the Bible at Central Maine Community College and give them a worship at the beginning of each class, which I do here at Weimar. But more than that, more than just something that bookends the class as far as prayer or worship thoughts, we really look seriously at what the Bible and the Spirit of Prophecy have to say about the various disciplines. For example, nutrition, the class I'm teaching this semester. We spend a lot of time early in the class reading from the book Counsels on Diet and Foods. So the students have assignments looking at some of the early chapters of that book that, by the way, give some of the best foundation for why God has given us a health message. And the kids are writing papers and they're being convicted. They're saying, you know, I'm having to look at this again. One of them was writing their paper, I was just reading it the other day, and they said, here I was about to eat another pear. A pear is a healthy food, but they said, I've just been reading this chapter on temperance and I've already eaten plenty. I've got to put this down. So it's practical stuff, but we're then seeing how it relates to modern science. Give you an angle on that. Standard nutrition textbook is focused on nutrients, digestion, how they're taken up into the body. They totally fly by with very little passing mention of something that's called the interdigestive period and what's called the migratory motor complex. Basically, God has designed in us a system that needs rest. And as we're reading through the Spirit of Prophecy, it's speaking about the importance of time between the meals. And then you go to the research literature in the medical field, and you start seeing this stuff that, look, if you want to have optimal digestive health, you've got to leave time between your meals. And the students are connecting all of this, and it's really very powerful.
So you're saying, which is something that I love to see, and we see this all the time, even in education, reading the book Education and then looking at the scientific literature, and it's wonderful just to see time after time the principles that she's laid forth, just time tested.
Oh, it's powerful.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's powerful. When you put those two things side by side, because you can read the stuff and people say, you know what, the nutritional community, they're saying you can eat as many times as you want and just go around grazing. Why are they saying that? It's because there's a whole generation. I mean, I took college nutrition. I took a master's class in nutrition. And I'll tell you, they don't cover this stuff. They don't cover it, and the things that underscore our message, if we're studying the counsel and then looking at the research literature, we'll draw out of it things that fly by a person that is not coming from that perspective.
So you're not only in the classroom, though. You're on the ground still practicing physician with the New Start Clinic on campus, working with the Lifestyle Center. What type of things do you do with the program there?
Well, I mean, it varies. It depends on what my load is in other programs on campus. But typically, you'll see me running some of the New Start programs. And when I say run, there's a number of us physicians, usually 2 or 3 of us, that work with each 18-day residential program. In addition, we all see outpatients. And so I'll have outpatients coming in between classes or before my class schedule starts. And really, that's giving me that real-life experience. So when I'm talking with the students, I'm saying, you know what, and I was just saying this the other day in pathology, I'm saying, you know, I just saw a patient the other day who had this problem. And of course, I'm not disclosing who the patient was or any confidential details, but it brings a liveliness to the discussion. It's not just textbook, it's real life. And then every class that I teach, I think without exception, we have a field component. So in nutrition, they're doing cooking demonstrations in the community. Some of my students were just with the Meadow Vista Church doing a vegetarian cooking class for the community. Others will be going to some of the other area churches. So that component is also a part of everything we do here.
So this is tying together the ability for students to get research, to get spirit of prophecy background and what they say about a topic, to hit the traditional academic areas of a topic, to tie that together with practical experience and with practical experience you're getting on a daily basis across campus here.
Right. I mean, we do a lot of innovative things with the students. So students can take an elective or what we call some of our pack time, and they can actually spend a whole 18-day program in the clinic. A number have done this. They go through the New Start program, and they see just what the patients or clients or guests, whatever you want to call them, go through when they come through this intensive lifestyle change program. And it's a powerful thing. I mean, I didn't see this in medical school. I didn't see people coming to our big medical centers and getting off their medications and, you know, going from being unable to walk, coming in a wheelchair. And I mean, sure, sometimes you see that in the hospital setting, but you don't see that dramatic lifestyle change that you see in an 18-day program.
All the time.
All the time.
It's amazing actually to go and sit at one of the end of one of these programs. Every time I've done that, I've just seen miracle stories.
Oh, it's amazing.
Every time.
It's amazing. And that affects the student who's thinking about a healthcare career. It's not just someone preaching at them saying, you know what, you should eat better, you should exercise. They see it. Now, many of them don't have those grave health issues. But when you see someone 30 years your senior, they're not old. There's someone in their 50s, maybe they've got bad diabetes, maybe they've got complications, and you see how the lifestyle that they're following here at Weimar, some of them may have felt they were forced to follow in the cafeteria or something, and they see these people saying, I'm so glad I'm eating this diet, and it was the same food that they were complaining about the other day. It does something to them.
Yeah. And to see to see residents come in who struggle to walk around, you know, the flagpole area there on campus, and now they're walking around the loop in multiple times and getting just, you know, miles in a day.
Exactly.
It's just, you see these miracles.
Yeah, and so to pull that all together under one roof, I mean, even though we've got many roofs here, but the experience at Weimar, to have the scientific training, to have the practical ministry aspect in a given class, to have the spiritual, spirit of prophecy, the Bible, all of that pulled in there together is just a really unique experience, and I know the Weimar students really thrive on that. And I think we're preparing them, by God's grace, to be more productive, to really say, this is relevant, it's not just some requirement.
So, you know, you moved here with your wife and your 3 kids. You want to give us a little background about how the family, who is this David DeRose guy?
Okay, well,
the family guy, because
yeah,
that's a big part of your life.
It is. And I was married to my wife some 23 years ago. She's also a physician, but she stepped away from medical practice many years ago when our first child was born. That's Angela. She's now actually college age. She's not formally under the college, even though she's getting college credit in one of our newest programs called Health, Health Evangelism and Leadership Training for Him. So that's like a RISE or AFCO health program. So she's doing that intensive. Victor and Michael are in an academy, and we all came here from Maine and have been, even though we loved Maine, we're enjoying Northern California and the Weimar experience.
It's got some beautiful weather here.
It does.
It's not the reason why we moved here, but it's kind of the icing on the cake. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your time to join and meet Dr. David DeRose. Thanks, David. I appreciate it.
Sure.